Good evening. Welcome to NTV People's Parliament. We are still in Kalangala yet again this week, and we are discussing a very crucial part of our lives, and this is our ecosystem. The ecosystem that protects nature, that protects us as citizens, as residents across the globe. It cuts across. It's not just Uganda. It cuts across. When climate change is here, when global challenges are here, they come to us as the world globally, not as a country, not as a district. So we are discussing our ecosystem here in Kalangala, but not just for Kalangala District, but for the entire country and for the entire globe. Now, why are we in Kalangala? We are here because Kalangala's forests, both government managed and the National Forestry Authority and those that are under the district control are under threat because of the continued deforestation. Now, why are we having deforestation yet the rules, yet the guidelines are clear? Why are we still having people in the forests? Have they not been sensitized enough? Have they not been educated on the dangers of climate change? And why are we having counter accusations? Police, sometimes the residents are saying NFA is not bringing these people to us. NFA is saying we are looking for these culprits. But also residents are saying, where can we fetch firewood? Here in Kalangala, we have very beautiful palm trees, but also forests are at stake because of the palm growing. So where do we draw the line to save our forests and also continue to grow the palms? So we are in Kalangala to discuss our ecosystem. And this very evening, to open up this particular conversation, we are going to call on to the regional manager of NFA to give us a feel. What do we know about Kalangala's forests? In the house, do you know about Kalangala's forests? What has she heard about the counter accusations between NFA, police, and the residents in this area? But also, as you sit there, what have you heard? How do you think we can conserve our forests together? What do you think we can do as residents of this district? Thank you so much for joining us, Honorable Member. Please delve right in there.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Good evening, viewers and members of the People's Parliament. My name is Esther Nekesa. I work with the National Forestry Authority as the range manager for Greater Masaka. I must say that Kalangala District is one of the districts in Greater Masaka that has the highest number of central forest reserves, because in the entire Greater Masaka we have 60 central forest reserves, but Kalangala District alone has 31 central forest reserves. So as a district, we are really endowed with a number of central forest reserves. And I must say that until of recent, the forest reserves in Kalangala were doing well, and Kalangala was known for having a very good forest estate. And as National Forestry Authority, we are mandated to manage the forests interests of the people of Uganda as per the section 237, subsection 2B of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. And we have been doing our best in establishing or putting in place a number of interventions to make sure that we keep these forest reserves to the standard to perform the functions that they were gazetted to function. However, I must say that we have a number of issues why the forest reserves have been affected. One is the commercialization of the agricultural sector, where we have seen that a number of the forest estates outside the central forest reserves have been cut down for planting of palm oil. And the people are mandated to manage their land because the land belongs to the people. So people have cut down the forests on the private lands to plant palm oil. And in the recent National Population and Housing Census, we were informed that Kalangala District alone has 74,411 people. And our total acreage of the forest estate in Kalangala is about 22 hectares of forest. So that means 3 people are depending on 1 acre of the forest estate for firewood, for charcoal, and for timber. And because of the high population, we have seen a drastic degradation of the central forest reserves. And when we talk about the commercialization of agriculture, like I've already said, people have cut down trees to plant palm oils. And if we don't have trees outside the Central Forest Reserves, it means that all the people are going to be relying on the Central Forest Reserves. And in that way, we've seen the degradation increasing in the Central Forest Reserve. We have, however, partnered with a number of institutions. We have partnered with police. We have partnered with the army. We have partnered with a number of private partners to make sure that we see that these forests are restored. So restoration is one of those things that we are working on to make sure we replant the degraded forest. We are also partnering with the institutions that are doing conservation in terms of tourism, and we are making sure that we make use of the forests to earn us revenue without depleting them. So we have a number of private investors that are doing tourism in these forests. But I want to call upon government that as we give the agriculture sector loans for growing palm oil, as we give the agriculture sector loans to grow coffee, let's also think about putting in place the tree fund that is gazetted in the National Forestry and Tree Planting Act. People who had trees on private land have cut them down to plant palms and coffee because they are not earning money from those trees. And because of that, the pressure on the Central Forest Reserves has increased, not because NFA is not working. We are on ground, we are trying our level best, but the pressure is very high because, like I said, 3 people in an area rely on an acre on a daily basis to get charcoal, to get firewood, and to get timber. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Member. At this particular moment, I would like to call on to the DPC to take on to the floor the August House because we had queries, we had questions about the illegal cutting down of trees, what happens to those that are found guilty, and also what happens to this confiscated material. How do you handle that? Someone tells you, this is my land, these are my trees. I have a right to cut them down. How do we sensitize them together as police? How do we reach out to NFA?
I am Superintendent of Police, Masete Kenneth, the District Police Commander of Kalangala District. Okay, honorable members, by the time I came here, the security of Kalangala was normal and calm. Secondly, I wish to take this opportunity also to thank police management. Recently, in March, police in Kalangala was faced with a cyclone, what we locally call here Ensoke. And there was a lot of destruction of our houses, and we lost 2 lives, a police officer and a wife of a police officer. May their souls rest in eternal peace. I speak about forests in Kalangala from a passionate point of view because I have already been a victim of winds. Traditionally, the Baganda call it Nazikuno. In Kalangala, we are on the lake. Whether you want it or not, these winds are still there.
Order, let's have order in the house, please.
These winds are still what?
There.
Are still there. Nazikuno, it is said that when these winds could come, they would be blocked by the trees in the forests. But the fact that we are depleting this forest cover at a very high speed, it is causing us challenges. That's why we have challenges with some of these winds. So I speak from that perspective. I've been a district police commander here for 1 year now. But I want to let you know this. 1 month after I had come here, there was a then RDC called Mama Nalongo. The first thing she did was to...
I want to call for order.
To mobilize us, the police and the community, in a central forest reserve called the Kubanda. It had been cut down, and the community members were complaining. These are the complaints that come from the community in Kalangala. Number one, that people come in these forests with machines they cut the trees, and when they cut the trees, what we discovered is that they use the local community to now ferry the timber that has been got out of those trees. They ferry the timber either to their boats or their cars. And this is the agreement, that you ferry this timber, the local people now, you ferry this timber, but we have no money to pay you. So the payment is, after you cut timber, the offcuts become the payments of the local population. So the local population pick up these offcuts after the timber has been organized and taken. They pick off these offcuts, either take them for firewood or they make charcoal, and they do charcoal. So the residents had complained to the office of the RDC. They said the RDC, and now what happened is after the timber has been picked out, the NFA staff now come and arrest the local residents, and they now bring them to police, and we process them, we take them to court. When they reach court, this is what they tell the magistrate, that magistrate, we have been fetching firewood. We are picking the offcuts that are remaining. And the cases that we have, they are on record. You realize that most of these NFA cases that they have brought to us and we have taken to court, they end up being given a community what? Community service. Because they argue that we were only picking what? Firewood. So it raised an issue in the office of the RDC. So I remember at that time, we went to that place, even the NFA officials, including my sister here, we went to that place. A lot of things were spoken. We went to the forest and we saw the destruction that had been done. And I wish to request that NTV Parliament could find time also, and we show you some of these places where the timber has been what? Timber has been cut. So we left that place, we got the evidence, we took action against the members of the management of NFA then here in Kalangala of negligence. All those files, we have handed them to NFA management. I think you are aware. But as I speak right now, no action has ever been taken on those cases of Kubanda. That is one of the challenges that we are facing in management and coordination and operation. In the recent past,
as we wind up, Honorable Member,
in the recent past, we have had that is now Kubanda. We also have a case of Busowe Central Forestry Reserve, where the NFA management, it's actually headquarters, called us and said we have information. Some people are cutting trees in Busowe Central Forestry Reserve. We went there together with the regional manager. I want also to put to this house, for purposes of information,
yes,
NFA has a structure. This structure is like this. In the district, they have what they call a sector manager. Now, these 31 forests that my sister is talking about are divided into what we call bits. I don't know whether I'm right. They are divided into what we call bits. Now, these bits, each of them has somebody called a supervisor. Now, a supervisor is in charge of supervising people called the patrolmen. Patrolmen are the employees that are placed in each of those forests. And the complaint has always been, how can these forests be cut when there are patrolmen, there is a supervisor, there is a sector?
There is a complete structure in place.
There is a complete structure. So for us, every time the community has been calling us, we go to these forests. I want also to let you know that people who cut these forests have a structure of intelligence. When you get information that, for example, people are cutting the forest just here in Towa, by the time, as police, by the time you reach there, you will find when those people have what? Have disappeared. So all you see is the forest which has been cut.
Thank you very, 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 very much. I'm so grateful with that. For now, those that are watching from home, you're watching NTV People's Parliament, and we are looking for a way on how to preserve our ecosystem. This is an issue of climate change. This is an issue of deforestation. We need to understand how we can come together as residents, as leaders, to find a middle ground to save the environment. Thank you so much for watching. For now, NTV People's Parliament is going to take a very short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament, and we are in Kalangala District. Before we left for the break, there were questions. Who is cutting down our forests? Who is benefiting from the silence? Where are the logs going? Where are the confiscated logs going? And also, why are residents being targeted? Yet, there's a belief that there are big people that come with machines and these forests are cut down. But we're looking at conserving the ecosystem in order to combat the effects of climate change and the effects that come with deforestation across the globe. At this particular moment, I would like to open this discussion to the residents to give their views on how they feel about the management, the entire management chain on how these forests are being protected. So, honorable members, please come and take to the floor. I'm going to have him first.
Stephen Mumbere.
Yes, Evo.
Mumbere ya bafulendi benkola nabo. Nenge na kusoka kuyamba mukulu DPC. Lwaki embawo toziraba? Ne masini is a mafia, a middle. Ekigambo mafia kino mulanga ekyokusaaga n'ekinene. Mwami DPC, madam, njagala okubuulira. Ffe abasala emiti nammwe abali eno waliwo ensonga eri wakati awo nti ekyekibira mukikuuma naye waliyo ffe bwe bayita abasooberera mmwe tujja ne tubakukaamirira bwe tumala mubakukaamira mugamba kale genda oyiye kale tuba tukyayiiya DPC najja bwajja n'atuyola kakati fayiro egenda okujja kato Mumbere Stephen yaze mu maaso ga tebuli yajja okukukaamirira kati fayiro twayinza gyongerayo DPC era tozirowooza tezijja kujja
Bw'ogambye
mu buli ddala waliyo bamafiya batuggyako obusuulu sente ezo ziragawa ettaka njagala okubuuza madamu oyo ebibira eyo n'ettaka eyo lye bakuuma ly'abaani ffe bannayuganda oba ly'abakenya.
Honorable member, please come and take onto the floor. As I also asked, I was told Kalangala closes and opens. Where do these machines pass? They get on board? How do they get into Kalangala? Are they already in Kalangala? DPC, are these machines on the island or they come on our ferry? Yes, honorable member.
Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, ensonga nina bbiri enkulu nze ndaba ezireese ebibira byaffe okuba nga bisaanawo. Ekisooka obwannannyini bw'ettaka. Singa otunula emyalo gyonna gye tulina mu Kalangala, ennyumba za bibaawo, mbaawo, kubanga tolina bukakafu nti ettaka naalibeerako bbanga ki eriwera. Ngenda kufuna olubaawo lwange naaba nvaawo ngende n'olubaawo ki lwange kuba nsobola okutambula nalwo. Tutambula ate tulya ebyennyanja tubiri sayidi eno nga tugenda n'embaawo zaffe. N'aba najja bagenda kutema emiti gino basobole okufuna ennyumba mwe bakola ki mwe basula. Ekyokubiri ng'ebinazi tebinnajja twakozesanga nku. Saalabanga ku muntu akufumbira ku manda mu Kalangala muno. Ebinazi bwe bizze ne tutema emiti enku ne zitandika okubula. Enku bwe zibuze tutandise kwokya manda. Era kati oyinza okufuluma mu Kalangala muno n'oleka ewuwo nga tewali akuuma n'omuyembe guno osanga bagutemye bagwokyezaamu ki amanda. Neyanza nnyo.
Kale tweyanzege. Thank you so much, honorable member. Where are the ladies who cook with firewood? You are the people that are cooking with this firewood. You're keeping quiet there. I'm going to start just calling you. Yes, honorable member. Please give in your submission.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm David Zanik Javira, the aspirant councillor, Kalangala Town Council, LOC5. My issues concerning the forestry is about we the elites. We call ourselves the elites, and we know the rules of law, the rule of law. We know it very well. But we use this opportunity to destroy the forests. You have submitted, madam, that 3 people benefits on 1 acre, according to the acreage of forestry.
Please, honorable member, stay in line with your camera. It's very, very important.
Okay.
It's behind the other side. You're seeing it? That one. Yes.
It is because of high prices. When the electricity, the prices are high, it makes our people to lose options. They only have one option: to cut down the trees and burn timbers and burn charcoals for home consumption. The high population growth, the population is growing due to the statistics, it is growing from the percentage is 6.8%, the population growth. So back in 1991, we had it was 10,000 something according to the census. But now we are having 7,000 people. 7,000 people on this land. So it makes people to cut down trees because they are looking for the way of life, the way to survive. Another thing is about when the cyclone happened, I remember they decided to go in terms of harvesting trees. They decided to go at, it is called Bumanji, that forest. They cut down the trees in terms of harvesting, yet the trees were not yet to be harvested. They are still growing. So, and even the impounded materials like the machines, when they impound the machines, one time they took my machine, and when I decided I wasn't having a license to operate that machine.
What kind of machine was it?
The saw machine.
What were you doing with the saw machine?
I was clearing my garden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to plant palm trees. They impounded my machine. Taking the machine to the office, I decided to go and get my machine back. But getting it back, it was missing some spare parts, like the block, engine block. It was missing. So I'm asking myself, how does it happen? You take my machine when it is still new, but getting it back when it is old.
Oh, I'm giving information. There are different types of forest reserves, according to the National Forestry and Tree Planting Act. There are central forest reserves that are managed by National Forestry Authority. There are local forest reserves that are managed by the district local government. Then there are also private and community forest reserves that are managed by private owners. Let me say it's a church, it's a school, it's an individual, you own me. Honorable member, you mentioned you were doing gardening. How does NFA come and do operations in a land that does not belong to them? I believe if there is guidance in any forestry management on private land, it should be done by the district. I think we should give information with clarity to guide us on finding solutions.
Okay, thank you, but you didn't give us your names. Please give us your name.
My name is Juliet Mubi. I work with the National Forestry Authority.
Thank you. So you give us proper clarity, but we shall come back to you later on what exactly you are gardening, but we shall come back to you later. I had a hand. Yes, please, honorable member, take to the floor.
Bamemba nyongera okubabuuzaako nti musibye mutyandoza musibye bulungi kuba ndabanga batukozeeko. Nga nzirayo nsooka okulabula mukwano gwange DPC nti eno district erimu ababanda. Ebintu bibiri bw'onajja ng'olowooza kubirwanyisa togenda kuwangula kubanga be baleeta okubikuuma be babisaanyaawo. Ekibira tojja kusobola kukikuuma kubanga be baleetera ddala okukikuuma gwe tandika okuketta bo. Olabanga bwe bajja eri bw'otuuka bw'oti b'okutte gw'okutte n'embaawo ali mu kusala emiti muggyeko essimu ye bw'onaakebera ennamba 3 nga tekuliiko y'omu kubakola mu kibira ojja onvunaane.
Kakati sebo
abantu abo
ebigambo ebyo byogerera maaso ga regional manager wa NFA
asiga balina abantu baabwe bakola nabo. Nze nyina obujulizi ng'abantu baabwe kyovola nga mbuulidde DPC nti gwe bw'omala okutuuka kwasala omuti muggyeko essimu ye okebere ennamba 3 kitegeeza nti abantu abo babuluvu nga tebakkuta oba tebalina mwoyo gwa kitundu kyabwe naye bo bennyini abo bemuwa okukuuma balina abantu bemukolagana nabo nga balabula bali nga mummwe mwennyini si ggwe naye nga mummwe mulimu gwoga nti gundi yakwata eyo poloti ayinako yiika bweziti oyo ava mu ofiisi ya gundi ayinako yiika bweziti naye nga kyali kibira nga kyekigenda okukyusibwa ne NFA town council egaziwe ekyerutoboka kiveewo kiddeeri bagenda okutuukayo ng'emiti bagimazeemu so waggulu okuviira ddala waggulu okukka wansi beetaaga okwetereeza nga bo naye tewali agenda kuvaayo kulwana kugamba nti olonze omuntu akirwaniridde.
Toyanza sebo toyanzege. NFA, I want you to also put that point there about the local task force. You come and in the next segment and wind up. Let's get all together. Talk about the local task force. Have you put that, are you trying to implement it? Can we have a local task force on ground? Yes, I'm going to have the lady, then I'll have the assistant RDC come through. I'm going to have him, then I'll have the both of you. Because it was earlier. Ensonga y'ebibira ffenna tukwatako olaba omusana guba gwokya, it's scorching sunshine oba enkuba embi ffenna tukoseza wamu ng'abantu. So okuuma obutonde bwandibadde buvunaanyizibwa bwaffe ffenna. Nyabo tweyanza bwe bali kutwegattako.
Neyanziza nnyo Madamu Speaker nga bwe nabagambye amannya gange nze Adija Kaitesi era kalondoozi w'ebifa ku disitulikiti eno. Ekyamazima ebibira bino tubirwanye nnyo nejjuzi nyina we nabadde neekweseewo poliisi nga ntegedde ejja okukwata baakubye essimu bali poliisi yagenza ottuuka amazima nga ne mashini bazitutte nga baziggyeewo naye abantu obakolagana n'aba forest bennyini
oba poliisi erwayo
ba manager
poliisi erwayo
poliisi terwawo naye connection ebaawo kyoba omanya poliisi tetunda bibira bweba yakulya eryako katono ku nguzi naye manager oyo yennyini abeera mu kintu gwoba olina okufokasingako ekintu kino kitambudde kitya because manager singa aba tayingidde mu nsonga eyo ekyo ekintu kiba tekijja kuliibwamu nguzi naye manager akitambuza n'ajja ku disitulikiti n'akwatagana ne bakwatagana nabo n'ayingira ne ku poliisi okukakana vi nga kyonna ekibira kisaanawo manager omu twali tumukutteko yali akwatiddwa n'ayingira munda ba diso mwalimu abaali bakirimu diso can you imagine nabo baali bakikoze eki ensonga y'ekibira yo ekyatulumiza ddala omutwe nga muzeeyi akifokasingako nti ebira bigwawo wa essese bigwawo lw'abakulu tetumanyi mululu nsasula gye babawayo entono kuba buli gwe basindika abazze kulyamu buli essese kufuna bya bugagga fe atuleke nga tukola ki nga tukaaba. Secondly waliwo abazimba mu bagamba bali mu forest yegoma mu town council ebizimbe biri mu town n'enguudo za council bazimba mu blocks ate abala ne babagamba temulina kuzimba muli mu forest temujja kuzimba era bali mu bibaawo ate mmwe temujja kuteekawo nnyumba bano ate nga mulimu endala enzimbe ennungi bo babagamba muli mu forest naye biri mu town council wakati awo ti forest weeyita. So mama waliwo n'ez'omukulu omu kuliko oba like maloji nyumba nyingi naye ziri ku forest naye wemanji we yamugaana okola ki we twagala okutangaazibwawo n'okuyambibwa.
First and foremost,
order.
First and foremost, NFA is on ground.
Yes.
It has forest rangers everywhere. The one thing I would ask the president is to have a specific task force like the one we had of FPU when it at inception in 2017. Have officers come, engage in arresting all the culprits, and they should not take a lot of time in Kalangala. The officers who come should take at least 3 months and they're taken elsewhere. Because after 3 months, they will also be compromised. 2, the second thing would have been having a stakeholders meeting. But we've had all this for a long period of time.
Exactly. Okay, we have NFA in the building. They will be able to address that. Thank you so much. Emotions are running high in today's August House. as residents are speaking passionately. Can I have some order? Order, please, honorable members. Emotions are running high in the August House as residents are speaking passionately about conserving the environment. These are matters that are affecting us as a country, but also globally. We are seeing floods across the different countries. We are seeing harsh, scorching sun across the different seasons. We are seeing bad harvest seasons. This is because of climate change. This is because of deforestation. This is because of misuse of our naturally given things by the Lord. So this particular moment, I would like to take a very short break. And when I return, I'll have leaders come to the floor. We have had accusations, we have had concerns, NFA not working with police, police sending counter accusations to NFA. We are seeing also residents are seated here being innocent, but they also know that they are fully engaging into the Deforestation Act. For now, we take a very short break. When we return, we are going to be answering some of those concerns. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament, and we are coming to you from Kalangala District. In this particular episode, we've been talking about ways on how to conserve our ecosystem. But we are talking deforestation. We are finding solutions on how we can move forward as residents, as leaders, to conserve and also find ways on how to get these people that are responsible for destroying and cutting down the forests. However, in this segment, I would also like to educate and let the residents know that the government has put a number of interventions in place in order to find clean cooking solutions. And this is under the National Renewable Energy Platform. We have a number of interventions cooking with gas, cooking with electricity, and I have the head of production in the room, and I earlier asked them to come to the floor and try to educate and also tell people how they can get into these different, sources of energy in order to cut down on the cutting down of trees. Maybe this is one way to help. Maybe we have other solutions coming through. But yes, let us start here for now. Let me have the officer come to the floor of the August House and take to the microphone and give us their submissions.
Adrian, I'm the head of production, Kalangala. For the fisheries, what we do, we do extension, we do fish inspection, we do data collection, and we do revenue, local revenue collection, and URA revenue mobilization. In the entomology, we are promoting apiary. We have put up demonstrations in several sites in Chamuswa and some area there in Sozi. So that is, in a nutshell, that is production. And you talked about renewable energy.
It to you is because I wanted to know, you see, with production, there's a lot of animal waste.
Yeah.
I've been to big farms and people are using biogas. I've been to big farms and people are using this gas and they know how to recycle it. Come make briquettes, they still use some of this animal waste. Is it something that is in Kalangala? The residents know about it? How do we incorporate to
Yeah, this is something that all the extension officers have been trained in. We actually have a contact person for renewable energy, and that is Mr. Buko. If you know Buko Gideon in production, is the extension officer who is coordinating renewable energy and is spearheading production of biogas technology and the formation of briquettes. We also have some entrepreneurs that we have, brought up in Kalangala who are selling these energy-saving stoves, and he's also a contact person for that. So, as Kalangala District production, we are trying to go the other way of renewable energy.
Okay.
Yes, we are supporting it.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. And I hope as residents we can pick on to this. Yes, please.
Kino siddiru ya Kalangala. Era temukisinziirako okukimmirako abalala obululu oba kiweerako abalala obululu nti kubanga abaagundi boogedde nnyo. It's a international deal nti tuteekeddwa okuuma obutonde bw'ensi.
Ate bino si bya bululu. This is not a political show, it's a socio-economic show.
Ekyokubiri, it's not about this bakulembeze baffe, abakozi baffe bano. Naye ffe abaagala okuyisaawo ebyaffe, olina omudumu gutunuza mu mukazi oyo Esther. N'ogamba nti ate bwe tugenda mu bibira be babbi, bwe tugenda mu bibira be bakola batya, be bakola bwe bati. aba abapoliisi be basala embaawo badiso ne baala disi olwo tubakange bo bakikole ki bakiveemu. Bayibuli egamba ebisuula abantu mu kibi tebirema kubaawo. Dr. Luka yawandiika n'ezimusanze oyo abireeta. Gwe bw'olaba nga binaakusuula mu kibi n'okusaanyaawo obutonde bw'ensi n'okutema ebibira nga tebannatwala mashini yo bagibbemu nga bwageesimaya bagibbamu sipeeya, togula mashini genda mu kibira kya gavumenti kukisaanyaawo ku lw'obulungi bw'ensi eno n'olw'obulungi bw'abannayuganda abanaakola ki abanaddawo.
I had another hand somewhere. Please come and give your submission, and you're the last person.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, please.
My name is Julian. Kalangala District eno giraba?
Yes, Evo.
Yemu ku district ezisinga okuba secure, ezisinga okuba safe.
Ekyo bakingamba lwe najja luli ina eggalawo ina nakyo doozi yeggala.
RDC akimanyi bulungi nti ne DPC tewaffe mwena obupikipiki busula ku mbalazi. Ne watabaawo yadde akakola ki?
Akatwala.
And we are so happy for that. Waawe ekintu kyonna.
Katulakubireko mu ngalo abafunye ekizinga kino.
Mwebale nnyo okubira abakulu abo mu ngalo. Wabanyiwa ekintu kyonna ekikolebwa nga kiri irigo. Mu kifo ekiri sekiwa. Baani abalina okunenyezebwa. Neera mbakubire mu ngalo.
Tetujja kubongera.
So, bwe tulaba ebintu ebigenda mu maaso nga bazze mu bibira ne basala embaawo ne bakola ki ekituufu kibi nti mubaamu ddiiru okuva mu ofiisi ezivunaanyizibwa ku bintu ebyo. Era ofiisi ezo ze zibakolera pamiti eziri feeke ne zizapruvinga ne babawa n'amakubo agabitambuza okubituukisa mu butale. Tuleme kwekwanyakwanya na kubikkirira nsobi ate ng'ekula ate ng'ejja tukosa. Si weewaawo? Weewaawo. Nze okusaba kwange kuli kumu ku bakulu aba NFA. Musobola otuyamba ne mulizootinga ku nkola enkadde ate nga nakati esobola okukola. Emirundi gye batemye ebibira musooke mwebuuze. Muzze emirundi emeka mu community nga mukubiriza abantu okukola reforestation. N'ekirala waliwo abakulu abali mu ofiisi abakozesa ofiisi obubi. Ne bagaba ettaka ly'ebibira nga bakimanya emirimu egigenda okukolebwako gittattana obutonde bw'ensi. Bagaba ettaka ly'ebibira ne balirimako omuceere. Abakulu abali mu ofiisi. Ne bagaba ettaka ly'ebibira ne balisawa ne balyokyako amanda ate ne bavaawo nga baneenyaffe bawanayinki. Abo baladdisa.
Thank you very much. At this particular moment, I'd like to have the officials from NFA to come and address some of these challenges. They've talked about one, the fake permits. They have talked about the logging. They've talked about deforestation. They're talking about the big people in courts that are let free while the wananchi here on the island are arrested over. And do we have something called illegal and legal harvesting of firewood? Maybe people want to know, because we cannot force them to use gas and electricity, which is on and off. But how are they going to survive here on the island? Are we sensitizing them? Please come and take to the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Juliet Muvi. I'm the Public Relations Officer. I sit at the headquarters in Golovi. Madam Speaker, I'll start with what you have said, that is there illegal harvesting and legal harvesting. I think there's nothing like when you're harvesting or kungula, it can't be illegal. It should be legal.
Actually, let me phrase it. Illegal and legal harvesting of firewood, because the residents come for firewood and the people come for timber, wherever they are, yes.
Actually, all forest products, harvesting is legal, but it is regulated by the authority. And then, when you do an illegality, it is an illegality, it can't be harvesting. You can only harvest what belongs to you and what is yours legally. So in National Forestry Authority, we do timber harvesting legally, but we also have thieves that come and steal our timber. In Kalangala, I can declare without fear that we don't have any single harvesting license issued by National Forestry Authority in a natural forest in Kalangala. And we don't have plantations here in Kalangala.
So whatever is happening here is illegal.
Is illegal. If somebody is harvesting timber in a forest reserve, central forest reserve, it is illegal. And the law is there to protect all of us against that illegality. By the way, I'm speaking as an official of National Forestry Authority, but I am a Ugandan. These activities affect all of us. When we have these floods, they do not segregate whether you're rich, whether you're Catholic, whether you're any political party. We are all affected. So we must work together. And then there are procedures. The National Forestry Authority created different agencies to manage forestry management in Uganda. Like I had earlier said, there's Central Forest Reserves and a National Forestry Authority. But that does not mean the district does not have power. Any forest product moving out of Kalangala to Kampala to Masaka must be authorized by the district forestry officer who reports to the district local government. So I'm imagining, how do these people move these timbers on the lake and you know them and you can't arrest them? I'm surprised by my colleague, the DPC, say we are not involved. We have environment police, a full setup police entity to manage environment. And those are the people we coordinate with to manage the Central Forest Reserves and other, actually not only the forests, but all.
But that brings me back to the point that was made, that the people meant to protect these particular forests, the people that are assigned to work together are the people that are also escalating the vice. You see, now where do we draw the line? How do we handle this?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That's why we need to take individual and the collective responsibility over these actions. There's an issue that has been raised that why don't you give them community members an opportunity to participate in the management of these Central Forest Reserves? The opportunity is there. Actually, it is even in the law that you form what we call collaborative forestry management groups. These are only for neighbors of the forest. You form a group, it is approved, it is registered with your district and approved by National Forestry Authority. We sign an agreement where we do patrols together with you.
Assistant RDC, have you had that?
Yes.
Are you willing to start spearheading those groups?
If we have the communities as the first point of security,
order,
as the first point of security for these forest reserves, then they will also take responsibility because they also depend on them. We have a challenge in Kalangala, actually, poor prosecution of cases. Kati omuntu bw'oba omukutene sente, that is a criminal case. Why shouldn't that person be prosecuted if you have the evidence?
My sister, you know that there are cases that have been forwarded to you, investigated by Kalangala Police and forwarded to National Forestry Authority. Can I give you a breakdown and you give us how far those cases have gone? Because it's about 6 months ago.
I think that will be going to...
So when you talk of poor prostitution, who are you referring to? Are you referring to police or are you referring to inefficiencies in the institution on your side? Especially we public servants, we are all struggling with the challenge of integrity or werufu. Because if we have integrity as officers that the government, that the state has chosen to put in office, then we wouldn't be having all this kind of talk. We wouldn't have this so-called conflict that this one carries out operations alone and then does not inform police. Then my sister is saying that we work with the police. I don't know whether you have had a close chat with your sector manager, because your sector manager is saying that police is the one cutting the forest. Police is saying that we are also being called. And I want to make it clear, ladies and gentlemen, me as a DPC, my brother was saying, there is a colleague who said that DPC, if you are fighting people who are cutting forest, be rest assured you will not manage. No. DPC does not fight people who are cutting what? Forest. No. It is my constitutional mandate to secure life and what? And property. Now, the forest is a national property. And usually, DPC does not go around campaigning that I am a DPC, please bring cases to me. No. If a member of the community calls and says, Ndugu DPC, we have had machines crying in this forest for the last 1 week. What is happening? I dispatch a team of police officers that please go and find out. The police officers go there, they take pictures, we bring matter to the attention of the NFA. So what we are asking is, can we enhance this collaboration between the police? And you see, that's why I was so particular that the sector manager of Kalangala, who is at my level, the district forestry officer, who is at my level,
to be here,
they should have been here so that we share some of the things and agree. Because my sisters here are at a strategic level. DPC and NFA sector manager, we are at operational what? Level.
Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Thank you very much for being a good audience today. For those that are watching from home, this is NTV People's Parliament. For those that came here physically, thank you for coming through. By the powers vested in me as the Speaker of this House, I adjourn it until next time. All right.